Hi, everyone. My name's Christian. I lead product at Dynamo. I'm also one of the co-founders of the company. A little bit of background about our company before I dive in. So we were founded as a group of machine learning PhDs and privacy experts from MIT and Harvard, really for the last 8 years studying what are the big risks with bringing AI into the real world. We've raised $19.3 million to date. We're a team of 45. And our last round was actually backed by Canopy Ventures, really a consortium of 40 of the top 100 US financial institutions. And so our main prerogative as a company is how can we enable these highly regulated enterprises to stand up generative AI while also addressing emerging regulatory guidance and demands here. We've had the unique opportunity to work with some of the largest enterprises to date, from Qualcomm and Lenovo in the technology sector. So we're going to be embedded into ThinkPad laptops in the enterprise through Lenovo, securing the AI-enabled applications on those devices. We also work with highly regulated enterprises like Experian and Credit Bureau, as well as major US financial institutions and asset managers, where they're leveraging all three of the products I'll show you today to secure their underlying enterprise data and prepare themselves for compliance. Usually enterprises come to Dynamo once they stood up either their initial POC around generative AI, or they're bringing in these third-party vendor solutions like Microsoft 365 Copilot or ChatGPT Enterprise, and they now want to layer compliance into this and really productionize it for a large number of end users. And this first starts with, on the left-hand side, streamlined red teaming here with Dynamo Eval, where we're there to go and identify the vulnerabilities and stress test the systems for data leakage, security issues, as well as hallucinations. We then have Dynamo Enhance, which is a path forward for the enterprise to remediate those vulnerabilities. And finally, as you're ready to productionize your generative AI applications, we have Dynamo Guard, which is a series of customizable guardrails you can layer on top of your enterprise AI applications. Here's a case study example of what I mean by, for example, AI red teaming and Dynamo Eval. So on the left-hand side here, you'll be able to see that we actually took one of our customers that was doing their initial POCs around standing up generative AI. They were setting up this RAG pipeline to connect their own internal enterprise data to the model. And what you're seeing on the screen here is actually all the queries that they were receiving during beta testing of their RAG system. And what we were able to do is plug in Dynamo Eval into the RAG pipeline and identify in red dots here those queries that actually resulted in hallucinations that were flagged by our system. And so this is really key as we talk to regulators. They want to have explainable ways of communicating to all three lines of defense within the enterprise where these residual risks of hallucinations, for example, might exist. And so what we did on top of this is you'll see we applied automated topic analysis on top of these clusters, and we're able to identify, in this case, a set of problematic queries around unauthorized credit card transactions in Latin America. The enterprise then took this actionable insight and was able to identify that they had actually conflicting policy documentation describing this particular topic in their RAG system. Another example case study is around guardrails. So a lot of enterprises have their own bespoke AI governance policies that they want to implement around their AI systems, but they need a solution that they can customize to actually automate the enforcement of these guardrails. And so, for example, on the right-hand side here, you'll see we actually had an enterprise that needed to enforce a very bespoke AI governance policy around making sure that their AI system wasn't able to speak about any sensitive client M&A activities. And they were able to customize Dynamo Guard in natural language to enforce this guardrail. Something that's super exciting is we actually are having an announcement jointly with a couple of our partners, including Microsoft, on an integration of Dynamo Guard with the Microsoft 365 AI Copilot suite, as well as in India is super excited about the ChatGPT Enterprise integration as well. So you can layer these guardrails, customize them, have full observability around how your users are using those enterprise applications. The last thing I'll mention is that guardrailing and AI safety is a big open challenge today. You'll see here today, I encourage you to look at some competing solutions to Dynamo, actually. Llama Guard, an open source solution, and Azure AI Content Safety through Azure. Really what you see is that a lot of these guardrailing solutions let a lot of non-compliant activity slip through, around 35 to 40% of these publicly reported vulnerabilities. We tested these solutions against, and they were only able to detect around 30 to 45% of these. Whereas with Dynamo Guard, out of box, they're powered by our own line of ultra-lightweight foundation models that are not only twice as effective at detecting these non-compliant events, but also 10 times lower latency and less costly to actually serve. So we're super excited to talk to you after this event. Please visit our booth, and we'll have a discussion and demo. So thank you, everyone.